out tonight. And we just finished CWS, which is always very, voluminous, very much a part of our summertime in Omaha. So I'm going to kick it off, and I'm going to tell my story first, just to be narcissistic. No, just because I want to make sure everyone has their time and has some time to think about, just get ready and see what I'm doing a little bit. I think sometimes it's nice to jump off first. My story is, and as always, whenever I think about summertime in Omaha, I think about the College World Series, and I think about Rosenblatt Stadium. When I was 13 years old until I was almost 16, I was working at a nursing home, like making Enfamil, like buttering toast at 7 o'clock in the morning, like on Saturday. So not to say that it was terrible, I didn't know any better, it was my first job, it was decent. And then my stepdad was like, man, they're hiring at the stadium. You should check that out. I think you have to be 16, and I just turned 16, it was about to be summer. Best decision I ever made, at that age. It was the best decision I'd ever made by 16. So I decided to go apply, and all my friends did too. And so all of us at 16, they remodeled the stadium, had tons of stands, and we got to work down there. And it was the most disgusting, hot, miserable, wonderful job. I didn't know any better. At least I wasn't, no cleaning up pureed Jello. Like I would have to puree Jello for people. Not that I'm trying to, but it's already fairly edible, and I was about to put it in a blender. So at that point, I was excited to be sweating in the back of the stand, like stuffing nachos into nacho trays. So in case you were wondering, a bread tray fits 16 nacho trays, and they do have to be put in by hand. They don't come already tucked in there for you. So College World Series, there were 5 College World Series at Rosenblatt. Normally, I eventually got to be the lemonade and ice cream girl, which was exceptional. That's like booze or crack maybe at the, whatever your pleasure is. At the College World Series, there's no alcohol, so the ice cream and lemonade stands so those were fun, but that first World Series, I remember sitting in the back sweating. That was the sweatiest job. But in the long run, I came back. I'd lived in France when I was younger, and I came back after my semester there and started back with Rosenblatt, and I started doing personnel. So when I started doing personnel, I met Danny, who is my partner and who is filming over there. He's my business partner. We started this up together, Miranda's Culture Club, which is part of, that's what we're doing here tonight. So at any rate, that's when I met him, and we had our first business together. They had called the stadium. It was an event group out of Denver, and they wanted us to staff concerts. Well, my bosses couldn't do that because they were contracted. They were on salary. So they were like, you're the one that called. I was doing staffing for the World Series and for events around town, Civic Auditorium. So they were like, you already called these people. You already do this. Do you want this opportunity? And I was like, yeah. So I kind of manipulated the situation, like, you want to work, the Z92 birthday bash. That was the concert. Was this Z92 birthday bash, 20-year anniversary of Z92, which was 97. And so, 97, 98. So we started for 6 years, we staffed that concert and a variety of other ones. So we would travel around, we'd go to, it was regional mostly, so Des Moines, what have you, but we always did that one over at Levi Carter Park every year. And the first year was Allman Brothers and ZZ Top, totally awesome. And I brought 150 people, and staffed the beer tents, and they got tons of money. I'd get people from the Air Force Base to come down, and they'd bring their squadron, and they'd make money for their Christmas parties and stuff, and they make a lot of money. So it was a good event, and we really loved doing it. But as time went on, there was 20,000 people there that first year. It was so bitchin', it was so great. There was people everywhere, people out on their boats, and Carter Lake. And then the next year was maybe 17, and that was Joan Jett, that was one of our brushers saying, we were in the back getting our sandwiches for people, and she came up and grabbed a banana and was like, hey guys. So, and so then it dwindled year by year. And the last year I actually was living in Omaha that I did, because I ended up moving to Chicago. Came back for the very last year, which I'll tell you who played in a minute, but that was it was super excellent end to a great run, these people. But the second to last one, when I was living in Omaha, dwindled down to 5,000 people. I'm not telling you who it is yet, okay? So here's me in the back, tagging all our numbers up, getting everything figured out for who we were gonna, we got paid per person and stuff like that. So we're just running all our stuff, who showed up, who didn't, and we go to this picnic table in the corner, we're sweaty. It was an event. We had a golf cart, we had to manage everybody, we'd have 100 people on site, we had to deal with this, listening to the whatever, listening to the radio, making sure everything was square. So we finally get our second away, and we go sit at this picnic table, and we're running our numbers, getting everything worked up, and you know, it's super summertime. We had done this 5 times at this point, it's our favorite, we love it. So, but there were hardly any people there, so we had to bring less people, so we, and we honestly to this day talk about like, it was so worth the minus or like sort of less of a paycheck for when we looked up, we're sitting there and we both kind of were like, what was that? And we looked, and like down the fence line, we're like as far back in the venue, like backstage behind the trailers of the famous people, and all the way down the fence line we saw like a flash of green. And we look, and it is David Lee Roth in a green jumpsuit, like revving up. He's doing the rev up. I've never seen a band, I've never seen a lead singer, I've never seen anybody do the rev up. Really, you know, like maybe like I have some friends in bands, but he was like kicking it and you know, swinging to the crowd. You guys ready? And it was the back of a trailer. And looking around like, is anyone seeing this? No, it was just us. No, it was exceptional. It was worth every lack of a dollar we got to see that dude. And I'm a worshiper of hair bands. I was not when I was younger. I totally understand it now because I love the people that love it. And I love it so much. And to see him, that was the best summer. And it was the best summer. I moved to Chicago after that, you know, and a lot of stuff changes, you know, and that event moved somewhere else and stuff. So it was exceptional, and it was one of my favorite stories ever. And when I came back from Chicago, the last band we got to see, which is I worship, was Journey. But of course it was Journey with the fake Steve Perry. Yeah, exactly. It was Journey with the fake Steve Perry, but Journey all the same. So that's my summertime story, and it was fabulous. There's many more from Rose and Light Years, but the Diamond Dave story is my favorite.